In terms of the process overall and looking back at that exit, was it a success for you? And a slightly related but slightly different question: do you think you would recommend Mark to other people looking to sell a business?
Yeah, I mean, again, I use the word fairy tale to start the business and sell the business and exit the way we did. It we couldn't be happier with the buyer that we ended up, selecting and working with. It was a real meeting of cultures. It made strategic sense for that buyer. They've been able to benefit from that. And we did sort of stay on the business a little bit longer than what we might have thought. And so we actually have got proof that, it has actually worked out really well for our staff and the buyers. So, hand across your heart, we sleep at night knowing that, the sale, the value, everything was there. It was fantastic.
I mean, Proscribe, it's been 7 years since we've sold, and Proscribe during that time, underneath the new buyer, has certainly grown and expanded.
Exactly as we
had planned.
Yeah.
We had always talked about an office up in Japan, and the new buyer had the funding and the support to allow us to set up a new office in Japan. In fact, they then had Karen and I go and spend 6 months living in Japan while we helped set up the Japanese office. So they were very supportive of it. And I don't think all buyers would have been necessary, but they were great in that respect.
They knew exactly how to tempt us to keep us in the business, and we were just like, yeah, we want to do that, and that's great. And I think as the founders of a business that you sell, I would hope that you have a vested interest in seeing the buyer succeed versus taking the money and run. I guess there's, for different businesses, different people, how long the founders stay after the sale, how long's a piece of string, it really has to work for both parties. And again, I think that, that's something that we spoke with Mark Sapsford about. We spoke with Mark Sapsford about what kind of deal would we do. And I still remember the chair of the board, the chief financial officer, the CEO, they'd all come out to Australia to meet with us face to face, right? So, you're coming from London to Noosa, Queensland. It's a decent flight to meet the potential owners of the business. And, we were in that final week, I believe, in, one of the hotels in Brisbane. We had the chief financial officer and the CEO from the buyer come out. We basically had a week in this hotel conference room, and we had Mark. We were talking with you each night. Okay, this is where we are in the deal structure, and I think Mark was always looking out for us, but also, okay, if we're going to get this deal done, do you trust that if they're offering you, these shares or this type of package, do you trust them? We say yes. Okay, well, then you get your legal team involved and your accountants involved. But all the way through there, we were trusting Mark's counsel as to how to put this final deal together that suited all parties. So, I think, James, you're asking, would we recommend Mark? Hand across our heart, we would. Now, have we worked with many brokers? No. But we screened a number of brokers, and Mark and his team stood out. And again, the proof, is in what actually transpired. A lot of people can choose an advisor, and it all sounds good at the start, and by the end of the process, either party may not be quite happy with how it turned out. Well, it was, it started well before we even contacted Mark based on what he had written. Those initial discussions went really well. He wasn't somebody who said, "Oh, I'll sell your business and I'll make you a lot of money." He was much more cautious and say, "Okay, this is the process. What do you want? What are you hoping for? Okay, so if we work together, these are, the expectations and timeframes and everything. So we really felt we weren't getting, sort of, for want of a better word, a yes man who was just, he was an advisor, and an advisor has to tell you what the reality is and has the experience to know what that reality looks like.
And the other thing with Mark is that I think he recognised that Karen and I don't come from a mergers and acquisition finance background. We're scientists, PhDs, running a business, and so I think he recognised that he had to pitch and help us understand the process at the level that we were at. So it wasn't sort of we weren't just talking technical financial things the whole time. It was a good clear explanation from Mark and holding our hand in the process.
Although we can fling that acronym EBITA around in any kind of conversation.
Why not? Yeah.
Which we couldn't do.
Why not? Why not?
Yeah, so heartily recommend. Double
Yes.
thumbs up. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Plus Mark's super friendly. We found him so friendly and nice, and we've met him over in London when he's come out here, and it's good. It's a good relationship.
Yeah, I think it's like I guess if you're going on a tour, you either trial and error and take that journey by yourself, or you hop on a bus tour and just get some sort of generic tour advisor. Working with Mark was going on this selling journey with a sort of a personal concierge service, somebody you could really ask your questions and get really good answers back. It was a personal and professional selling journey.
Secretly, I really hoped you were going to make an analogy that Mark was a coach driver, but I've missed out on that.
Go, go.
Exactly right. Yeah. Next destination. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Well, we did clock up a few air miles, Mark Sapsford, if I recall.
We did.
And I got to wear my winter coat and in these meetings in
New York.
Great.
Yeah.